Okay, welcome back. This is my 1971 Moto Guzzi Ambassador. And I bought this bike basically as it is. So it looks like it is a relatively complete bike. Um, I don't know if the speedometer and tach are correct. This seems like an early one. It's a 1971. So um, generally speaking, this looks like it's a motorcycle that was upgraded to like a Eldorado, because if we go down and look at the engine and transmission, it is a, let me turn that light off. It is um, it's an Eldorado engine. Um, so that is a 850cc motor. It's a 5-speed transmission, and the rear end is that's really a Eldorado rear end. And so it is, I don't know if it runs. I think it may run. We're gonna check. And that's the first thing we're gonna do, is we're gonna check to see if this thing runs. I haven't looked to see if the cylinders have the chrome liners or if they've been chromed inside. And so the first thing I want to do is I want to get this thing started to see if it actually turns over, and to see if we actually have spark. But this thing, it would be nice to rehab this bike. When I say rehab, refurbish this bike so that it looks great and that it runs great. It has, like I said, I think it has all the parts here. It's a little bit unusual in that it actually has, if you look underneath the tank, it has an alternator. So this one does not have, right next to the battery, right underneath the frame, there should be a voltage regulator, and there is not. So that is interesting. So with the alternator, you don't need the voltage regulator, because it's really kind of built into the alternator. So it has the carbs, although the throttle is a dual cable throttle, and I'm not necessarily a fan of those. And I saw that the carbs, it's hard to see here, but you'll be able to see it, but they have the flip up choke enrichers. So we'll probably keep those. And I guess up here we can put the, like the mirrors. We can put a mirror on there. I don't have an ignition switch, so I need to find an ignition switch. This bike does not have a starter, so I've got to find a starter, and I will work on doing that right now. And it also doesn't have an ignition switch, so let me find an ignition switch for it as well. I think I have one, and well, I know I have one. So the bike looks really good. I mean, it is, it's dusty because it's been sitting in my garage for like a year. And I, it should have oil in it. And it does. It is not leaking oil, which is good. And so let's get started on this. It is, I don't know what they call these things. They're like head guards or something. So I guess, and it has Coney shocks. These are really a nice shock. So these guards were powder coated. I'm not a fan of that. But So let's get going on it. Let me find an ignition switch, and I think I found a starter already. So let us get going.